For the better part of a decade, Under the Skin has stuck with me. It's weird since I've only ever seen it twice, and one of those times was before writing this video. In all those years, I've yet to find a film that cultivates such a terrifying fear of the unknown, while also managing to make me deeply sympathetic towards it. Under the Skin is a slow burn for many, a detached sci-fi horror steeped in ambiguity. While the horror segments scattered throughout are indeed terrifying and feature threats beyond human comprehension, the last half of this film takes it from an indie sci-fi horror to a deeply personal examination of human nature, from an outsider's point of view. Someone on the outside looking in, who desperately want to find their own place amongst the ants in the colony. In this film, we follow an alien huntress played by Scarlett Johansson. Her character is only given the name The Woman, though in earlier cuts of the film, she's given the name Laura. She methodically hunts down and lures men in the city, while a mysterious motorcycle rider acts as her handler. One of the more unique parts of Under the Skin is its use of hidden cameras. The crowd scenes were shot clandestinely and in real locations, which immediately gives everything a true-to-life documentary feeling. It also really sells the isolation of Johansson's character, who often sticks out like a sore thumb as she tries to blend in. She does so a little unsuccessfully, as we see the frequent stares she garners navigating past busy crowds. At first, there's a complete lack of empathy in this character that leads to some truly disturbing scenes. One scene takes place on a beach, where Laura watches from afar as a family and their dog drown. She even goes about abducting the surfer, who fails to save them. While incredibly tough to watch, these are key scenes that establish how little regard this alien species has for life on Earth, a callous feeling that will eventually turn into fascination. The film's soundtrack underscores many of its scenes with these tense strings to give everything a real sense of palpable dread. We see characters frequently walk into or out of dark spaces, spaces that feel as if they stretch on for miles, reinforcing a fear of the unknown. The mirrored room that this black void leads to is equally terrifying. The harvest scene is a contender for one of the most disturbing things I've seen in a film. You'd think a film like this would leave the inner workings of the alien's harvest to your imagination, but they decide to show you the process in shocking detail. Under the Skin is based on a novel that apparently gives a lot more background on the origin, purpose, and inner workings of the alien race, but I much prefer Glazer's approach to this story. While some of the alien's motives are highlighted, we don't really know what Laura is feeling a lot of the time, and the ambiguity of her actions gives everything an air of mystery. However, there is one subtle emotional indicator present in this film. In some spots, we see double exposure, used as a discursive technique, to show when Laura is lost in thought, typically when crowds begin to flood her mind. As she drives down the streets of Scotland's towns and cities, we see her fascination with humanity begin to take precedence over her mission. She doesn't seem to revel in the hunts at all, and they begin to feel more like tasks she's been assigned. Laura eventually arrives at a crossroads when she encounters the disfigured man, someone who also exists in the margins. She initially lures him in as normal, but he brings about empathy in her for the first time. During this encounter, we see her alien form, which is also a symbol of her vulnerability in this moment. Her mind races with thoughts as we see this double exposure again. This finally stirs her empathy as she takes a moment to reflect before setting him free. The disfigured man is notably her last abduction. I wanted to share a theory I have before discussing the last act of this film. Earlier, we see Laura's introduction in a sterile white room, while she leads all of her prey into a mirrored black room. From this, we can understand the white room as a symbol for birth, while black symbolizes death. When Laura abandons her old life, she ends up in a haze of white mist, reborn. From then on, she tries to live like a human, but faces rejection at every turn. While trying to eat a slice of cake, she coughs it up violently, as others look on, disgusted. She later finds a man waiting for a bus, and is taken in by him. She slowly takes a liking to human things, captivated by the TV, and tapping her fingers to the beat of a song. There's a shot that really solidifies how alien everything is to her after the man wishes her goodnight, where she just kinda stands there, since she doesn't know how to go to sleep. It's not a natural behavior for her. The two later explore the Scottish Highlands together, and he shows her some kindness. One thing I can't shake about this film is how beautifully the Scottish Highlands are portrayed. Again, I haven't seen this for at least 9 or 10 years, and I still often think of the shots where Laura is navigating the Highlands and castles. This brief time with the man unfortunately ends in further rejection. The romantic scenes are still underscored with hints of his sinister string music, and interspersed with scenes of the motorcycle rider hunting her down, because we know something will go wrong. When Laura tries to have relations with the man, she finds out that it's not possible. She doesn't have all the anatomy of a human. She's only meant to be an illusion of one. Distraught, she escapes to the forest, where she ventures into another dark space to find shelter. As she sleeps, a human action that she was previously unfamiliar with, we see a final double exposure shot, as Laura feels at home as part of this Earth, before she's swiftly punished for letting her guard down. Earlier, we saw Laura's initial fascination is punished when her car is assaulted by hooligans. This happens right after a daydreaming scene. Her thoughts are flooded by the faces of crowds she's seen that day. And when she opens up slightly, her van is assaulted as a consequence. Her hunter instincts got her out of that situation, but she's not so fortunate after she leaves behind her cold exterior. Laura gives in to her empathy, but as a result of her flinging herself into the world with open arms, she is destroyed. As she lays there in her final moments, snow falls on her burning corpse. The motorcyclist stares out into an ocean of white as he gives up his hunt. A mixture of soot and snow falls onto the lens until it's almost entirely enveloped in white, which I like to think hints at her rebirth. Maybe in her next life, she'll finally get to experience the humanity she so desperately wanted to be a part of, and she'll be welcomed as just another ant in the colony. Hey everybody, this video was made as part of a collab I did with Pancake. To catch some more great cosmic horrors, go ahead and check out the video on Pancake's channel. He's picked out some really cool games and movies to talk about, and I have a few segments in there as well. If you're from Pancake's channel, and have already seen the video I'm talking about, then welcome. I'm Zudo, and this is Zudo Show, where I talk about some of my favorite media, but fairly often, I like to talk about horror. I balance the channel with live action, anime, and manga, so if that interests you, please subscribe. Thanks again to Pancake. If you haven't seen his channel before, he has some really good recommendations, cozy vibes, and his dog is adorable. I heard she calls the shots over there, so I'm glad she signed off on this collaboration, and I hope you guys check out their channel. Here's a special thank you to my Patreon subscribers for helping to support the channel. Remember, for just $1, you too can get all the behind the scenes posts, as well as a shout out of your own at the end of each video. I'm really glad to have gotten this out on time, and I'm excited to get another video out to you guys real soon. Alright, that's it for now, and I'll see you in the next one.